The biggest issue humans face today is that they move to live in a virtual reality inside their heads. Life is concepts, ideas, words, exchanges, and we are disconnected from our body, disconnected from our emotions, disconnected from our needs. Hi, I'm Avi Grinberg, founder of the Grinberg Method. The Grinberg Method is a learning system in which you can learn to develop your attention, regain your body, and become the human that you are supposed to be if your potential could have the freedom to develop. I developed this system because I was very interested from very young in human attention. I found myself meditating already at the age of 16, and over the years I went through many kinds of experiences and learning system of how to evolve attention and how to come back into being a body. Over the years I found out that most systems that try to do that either rely heavily on the mind, in which you look down at the body, not become the body, or they try to do something in which to take the body to a place where it's supposed to be something or another. This system that I created is developed for the individual. Each of us comes with a potential into this world, and through socializations, trauma, boredom, repetition, routine, cultural inhibitions, etc., we tend to forget who we are. Instead, we have patterns that are built in our body and in our attention, in which we are always less of what we could be, and many times having a life in which we don't have a choice and which we're not free. I started to work quite young, and I was focusing mostly on fear and pain in people's experience. And what I discovered is that because we don't want to feel fear and pain, we left the body behind us and we moved to a virtual place in which we can go back to yesterday or jump into tomorrow, but never be 100% present in our lives. So I was looking to create a system which teaches how to pay attention, which relates to individuals as individuals, not as a statistic result of their culture, and looking at the possibility of communication with the bodies and connecting mind to body. Through my work that was a lot focused on fear and pain, but not just, I found ways in which to pull attention from our minds to the body. Some of the ways include touch, instructions for breathing, relaxation, and others, and it's all depending on what kind of patterns the individual have. I look at individuals and I see people trapped inside of themselves, producing chronic conditions of pain, anxiety, depression, and feeling that they don't touch what is to be fully alive, and that it's very difficult for them to stay in the present without moving to a virtual reality. Developing a system that teaches a person how to slowly regain his body, how to shift from a place that I talk to myself to a place where I can feel myself and the world around me. Our bodies are magic. What is lacking is that we pulled ourselves. It's like it was too difficult, too painful, and we decided to abandon the body and move to a place that our culture encourages us to go, into where we are free to think, to invent, to believe in things, but we lose the freedom of being a body. Our body feels, our body needs, our body moves, and we always do those in a way that is established, repetitive, routine, and don't ever allow the development of individual potential, of being free to be just naturally myself. My work was very much focused over the years on conditions that were either chronic or repetitive in people's life. And what I discovered is that we are developing patterns after difficulties, fear, pain, or because of repetition, we continue the patterns of our parents or our culture, and we then lose what is underneath those patterns, our real self, that is not just verbal or not intellectual or not conceptual, but it's made of sensations and emotions and movement and connection to the world around us. One of the damages that our minds does is that we look at things and we talk about them. We lost the ability to feel and get connected to the world around us. Living in this kind of virtuality creates a situation where the body becomes a biochemical machine, that you treat it statistically, that you have conditions called by Latin names, and that you are a victim of this, that you have no way to reach into your own power of healing and tap into it in a way that you can break free out of this prison, heal yourself and grow. My biggest motivation for developing this methodology was the wish to have power over what's happening to me, not to be a victim of circumstances, a victim of my body, a victim of my fear, a victim of my pain. I try to find a way that I can relax into fear, learn to transform my pain into something that makes me stronger, and that it depends on me, not on external forces. I didn't want to look at myself as something that needs repairing. It's something that somebody else does something to me and I just get better and I have zero responsibility in it. I wanted to find a way in which I can influence the future of my life, the quality of my life, my health and my clarity. Developing this methodology was first of all the effort to teach other people how to do exactly those same things. So I developed a way of touch that is really a communication with the body. It's designed for the individual. None of us are the same. We come into the world individuals and very much unique in a sense that this is how we feel things, this is how we see things, this is how we think things. Except that through the process of socialization, education, all the names you can call it, we actually learn to be something that is not us. Our body, on the other hand, is living in the now and is really showing all the damages that we do to ourselves by not living in it 100% and just being us, whatever it is. The way of touch that I developed allows people to learn what they do when they are afraid, how they block it, how they create patterns not to feel, how they create patterns of the same feeling all the time that they don't know how to stop. And through this language of touch, the person just doesn't understand what is happening to him, but he starts to feel what is happening, and then he starts to be able to assume responsibility and control over what he's doing to himself. In a way, we grew up learning that we are victims of subconscious, we are victims of past traumas, and there is actually nothing we can do, and even if we try to do something about it, it's very rarely finishing what we carry with us. In a way, we are constantly carrying our history behind us in a way that doesn't allow us to break free and live a life that is just ours. We carry the history of our past traumas, our past fears, our past beliefs about ourselves, what other people told us about ourselves, and we carry this in the muscles of our body, in the way we breathe, in the way we move, in the way we look at ourselves. Now, the intention is to break free out of these patterns. To just understand them and talk about them has very little power over something that is embedded in your body and is constantly there, and you're lost the ability to really feel what is there and definitely the ability to control what is there. So just as an example, if you don't want to feel fear and you don't want to feel pain, you have to harden yourself. You have to hold yourself tight. You reduce the ability to breathe. You raise your shoulders, you tense, your spine is rigid, and you're trying to walk through life like this in a way that doesn't allow any kind of peace or relaxation, and the energy that you invest is constantly burned inside of you. Because the experience is so strong, you also lose attention to what's happening around you. Your decisions come out of stress and worry, and you are not able to relax into this, find your center, be able to focus your will, be clear about what's happening to you, and if there is fear, just agree to be afraid, and if there is pain, learn to do something about it. So the intention of this methodology is to break free of these patterns. For this, you have to develop body attention. Body attention is a kind of attention that we neglected. It's naturally there. We don't have to invent it. But we have to learn how to get it back. Our body is aware of itself and its surrounding. It's designed for that. We moved away from that because our body meant many kinds of things to us that we preferred not to feel. From pain, fear, to humiliation, to body image, to all the kind of things that modern people are busy with. What is the result is that we look from above down. And we look at the body as something also that can be opened and cut and arranged, and it looks like it's a mechanical addition to our minds. From this kind of position, the natural powers that we have in our body, our fear that is an amazing energy that if we know how to utilize it, gives us a lot of power, our physicality that gives us the energy in which we can do things, express ourselves, achieve things in the world, we push them back and we try to move forward with our heads. Once it's done like that, we found ourselves, even if we are succeeding, having zero satisfaction, because satisfaction, peace, enjoyment, pleasure are all body experiences. We try to look at them like intellectual experiences, but they are body experiences that we lost. Most people are trapped in a life of routines coming out of exactly this pattern, trying to avoid fear, trying to avoid pain, trying to avoid big decisions, trying to avoid journeying into the unknown and doing things never done before. We become old and set up in our ways long before it should have happened. Also, our ability to heal once our energy is invested in so much efforts not to feel, not to sense, not to move, to do the right thing, and we give ourselves constant orders about who we should be, okay? We don't have energy to heal. The simplest things take people a long time to heal. And the more we are in our minds, the more our body doesn't have the energy it needs just to recover from pain, recover from accidents, recover from surgery. People get stuck in a place where the energy is wasted on something that is totally virtual and gives nothing to our body. I wanted to develop an ability in which I can accelerate my healing, that I am responsible for it, and every kind of difficulty that is physical, from accidents to illnesses, I look at it like, what can I contribute to this? So when people come to learn this methodology, they come to learn to give their bodies a chance to heal and to work. What we teach people is to bring the attention to the body, relax into it, breathe, and allow the body to do what it needs to do instead of burning this energy in themselves.